In this video, I'm going to explain context API, starting with this diagram. And this is prop drilling and this is React Context API. First, what is prop drilling? So if in any React project, if there are several multiple components one inside the other, and I have to send the props inside of the last component. So first I have to pass into this props and then pass the same props in this, pass the same props further here, and then pass the same props further here, and then finally to this stage. That is called props drilling from one component to another. But in this process it becomes hectic. It becomes very inconvenient to pass the props from one to other to several components likewise. So to solve this problem we use context API. To understand this, I'll delete this. I will show it again through one more example. Yes, here if I want to send props here, first I have to get that props in the main component, and then I have to check whether it's on left or it's on right. It's on not on left, it's on right. So I have to pass props in the right component. Then again I have to check whether it is on the top component or it is on the bottom component. So it is in the top component, and in this top, when I reach in this top component, then I have to pass it into this. So finally the props can be sent into this. But to reach till here, I have to go from here to here. Likewise, one inside the other, sending the props, and this becomes inconvenient likewise. So for that we have React Context API, where what we do is we define a centralized data, and any component from anywhere, even if it is a nested component, it can access the data from there, from the central global data. So I don't need to pass it on to one component and then other. And so this is a little bit makes it more optimized, and it improves the performance. Now I'll write the definition. It is a React built-in feature which allows to send data, which allows to send data globally across different component different components, even if it is a nested component. So that means it can be accessed from anywhere. It can be even nested components too. Normally the flow I showed in the diagram, so that is the flow. So what how to solve this problem using context API? What it does is it creates it creates a centralized data which is globally accessible by any component. It is globally accessible by any component. It creates a centralized data. So how is it done? This is done with using three steps. That is, first is create context. Second one is provide provide data globally, and third one is consume. Create using create context. Example, const my const context is equal to create context and then open bracket, close bracket. This is the syntax. Uh, how to provide a wrap inside the component, that is, write this as it is, and then write dot, just write dot provider and consume nothing, just write context, use context and extract the data whatever is required. Example const, let us say we want to take a data that is named as total. Total is equal to use use context, and then this name that is stored here. What it does is, so this is my context, this variable name in in front of const and before create context. This is like a box. This box stores the data that needs to be sent globally. It can store strings, numbers, arrays, anything. So create context. It is creating the context, that is creating a centralized data which will be stored here, and whichever data we want to destructure it, we can use it. Destructure it using this, like this. Destructuring. I hope people. I think destructuring is clear. Okay. Now coming to the next part, that is I will explain it through code. I will delete this code first. Now directly coming to the coding part, import React, use context, create context, text from React, function, app, return, export, default, app. Now, first step, I'm creating this code for sending students data, that is name, ID, and their marks. That is step number one. Create context using equals student context is equal to create context close bracket. Step number two, provide it globally. That is, this is the main function student student uh, provider provider open bracket close bracket. Now here return. First, I need to write const. I need to write here children because we need to send it from here children. Const students is equal to array of objects. Array for that this braces, now for objects curly braces, id is one comma name is John, and then marks is 82. Now likewise four students, five students, 1 2 3 4 5. John, Alice, Smith, Elon, and then uh, Jane. 82, 92, 90, 85, and then 87, and then 98. Now this data is taken. Now where the total cost, total is equal to cost. average is equal to total divided by students dot length length cons total is equal to students dot reduce in bracket sum comma s, calculate sum plus s dot marks comma 0. Now here return statement is written here, return student context, student context dot. So for this writing this, I don't need to write the name of this function. I need to write the name of this which is written in before create context. So I'll take this create context return pro and then write provide dot provider in front of it. Then value, whichever value you want to send, value double curly braces students comma total comma average. Now close the bracket. Now here children and then student context, student context dot provider. Now if I write function, another function to display this data, function students, right, mm, return div and write this students dot map and like student becomes div by div student dot inside of this li tag and write s dot marks, uh, s dot name and then here s dot marks, right, and anything is remaining, no, key is equal to student s dot writing. This is also done. Student marks. Now to write this, first I need to take to take the data students. I need students here. How will I take it? Students. I will do it using the structuring, that is const students is equal to uh, use context, that is use context student context. This is also done. Now here I'll directly write this name, write this name and then close it and then and here write students. Now I got all the marks here. So I need to write heading here before that. H2 heading student dashboard. Student dashboard, these are the marks. Now likewise, if I want to do it in another command. So what is the purpose here is that I don't need to pass the props to every component. I have taken it directly, extracted it from here. That is using the structuring, that is use context, return it here, whatever it was there. Out of that I just needed students data, so I just extracted that here. Likewise I'll extract other one, that is function student stats, that is, if I write here return statement, derivative here, and here I'll write const total comma average is equal to const total comma I'll use context, student context. I took it here directly. H3 total is total, and average is average. Now, if I write here stats, it is showing total here and average is here. So this is first component, that is students, and second component is stats. This is the fifth step, that is fifth step main app. This is fourth step, that is taking data in child components. Is third, create, provide, taking data here. Here also same thing. Fourth, taking, or we can say extracting data in child components. So now what is happening in this code? I will explain it once again. I have to use context and create context in here from React. I have used create context to create a box that is named student context, which can store the data which needs to be shared globally. So whichever here it is there, these three terms are, we are sharing it globally. That means we can access these from anywhere. So where are these stored? These are stored inside of this. That is this. Uh, to understand it through analogy, I said that this is one box where we can store it. Now, once we take create context here, now write the provide function here. Student provider. You can name this anything, but still to understand it easily, so that while create wrapping inside of the component, we can do it easily here. Now I've taken students sample data, and then their total, then their average, and then I have whatever I have calculated, I have sent it here. For this to send it to all the components, we need to write children here because we are sending it globally, and value is equal to students, that is this, total is this, and average is this. Now these, when these are sent globally, we can access it anywhere, but the tag needs to be this tag should be remembered properly, that it is student context, which whatever is written here, write it here, and then write a dot provider here in front of it, and uh, between them write curly bracket children. Now this is child component where we have used students from here. So use context, it's like extracting it, it's like extracting it from here. Only student I want, so extract it here. Here I want value and total, value and average. Sorry, total and average. So I have extracted from here and used it wherever as as per required, and I have written it in the list form. can write here. And you will also total is this and average is this. You can check it, and this that is all about the context API. Thank you.